We are going to take a quick look at how to do a short um, process with Windows Movie Maker to reduce the file size of the video that you've made with CamStudio and make it easier to put that video on YouTube. So I've made a video. Here's, by the way, this is Windows Movie Maker, and the version of this Windows Movie Maker is version 2.6, and you can the instructions for downloading that are available in the PowerPoint that we looked at previously. And I've chosen to use 2.6 because people have told me it has more features. So I'm not experienced with some of the more recent versions of Windows Movie Maker. So this is Windows Movie Maker, and the first thing we're going to do is import the video that we want to process. So I'm going to click on File and Import into the collection. Now the video, I have just put it on the desktop, and I made a especially short video for this demonstration, for the purpose of this demonstration. I'm just going to click there and import it. Now if you have a longer video, this process is going to take a little bit more time. For a 10-minute video, this process may take as much as 10 or 20 minutes. So leave yourself time to make this conversion. So we now have that short video sitting here. And if we want to, we can click on that and we can play it here in the window and pause it, and we can just, we can do a lot of things like that, but for the purposes of just processing this to a smaller file size, we're going to click on this and drag it down to the timeline. Now I just want to tell you that occasionally when you import this, it will break your video up into several parts, and all you have to do is select all of them and drag that group to the timeline, and it will put them there in the correct order, and you don't have to fiddle with a lot of things. So in video editing, this area here is called the timeline, and you can see a time counter along the top that this video I've got here is less than 15 seconds long. There's a slider that you can slide along, and as you're looking on the video that's showing up here in the upper right, the location of that slider should tell us what is in the video at certain places. So if we go past the video, it kind of disappears, and there's not a lot to see in this video because it's so short. But for purposes of just processing this into a smaller file size, you pull the video to the timeline, and then we're going to go back up to File, and we're going to save the movie file. And what that's going to do is just save whatever movie file is sitting on the timeline. So if we click on Save Movie File, this pops up, and we're going to just choose that we're going to save this movie to our computer. That defaults to that spot, and we need to put in a file name here, and I'm just going to put short example, and we can choose a place for that to go here. Right now I'm going to choose to just put that onto my desktop. I'm going to click Next, and I'm just going to, it defaults to the best quality for playback on my computer, and I'm going to click Next, and now it's going to process the video. And once again, this takes a few minutes. You'll see that for this 12-second video, that this process was maybe 40 seconds or something like that. So if you have a 10-minute video, this process is probably going to take 20, 25, 30 minutes, depending on your computer speed and various things like that. But the advantage is that when we get this done, we will now have a video that has pretty much everything looks the same as far as quality and resolution, and sound quality will sound just fine, but the file size will be 1/10 the original file size. So when I click on Finish, it will play the video for me. I don't especially need to do that right here, so I'm going to close this and minimize this and go right back out here. Here's short example. Here's the original. And so we've now made a much smaller video file, less than a megabyte, 771 kilobytes, and originally it was 7 megabytes. So we've cut the file size to almost 1/10 the original size.